Alright guys, we're going to be going over the review we did during class on Friday. Alright, and I'm going to ask two types of questions on this test. I'm either going to ask you to give me the nature of the solutions or to find the roots. If I'm asking you to give me the nature of the solutions, we're just using the discriminant, which is b squared minus 4ac. And depending on what that number is, will give us our answer. Either two reals, two complex, one double root, or two rational solutions. Remember, if the number is lower than 0, less than 0, it is negative. It's automatically two complex solutions no matter what. If the number is 0, it's one double root. If the number is positive, but it's not a perfect square, if it can be simplified, that's fine. But even if it can be simplified, it's not a perfect square. It's two real solutions. Only when we have a perfect square do we get two rational solutions. So these are the four types of answers I can get. I find my A, B, and C. Remember, it's always got to be equal to 0. And on the test, I'll make them equal to 0. But if they weren't, you'd have to get them equal to 0. My A is 2, my B is 4, my C is negative 12. So B squared minus 4AC, 4 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 12. 4 squared is 16. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 12 is a positive 96. So we get 112. That's two real solutions since 112 is not a perfect square. Second one, my A is 1, my B is 6, my C is 20. 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 20. 6 squared is 36. 4 times 1 times 20 is 80. 36 minus 80 is negative 44. If I have a negative answer, automatically two complex solutions. Here we have 3, negative 18. I know that negative is not very clear, but it is a negative, and 27. It's negative 18 squared, which is 24. Remember, when you square a negative, it becomes positive. So that b squared will always turn positive. Minus 4 times 3 times 27 is also 324. 324 minus 324 is 0, and that leaves us with one double root. And then finally, one where we get a perfect square. My A is 2, my B is negative 1, my C is negative 15. Negative 1 squared is a positive 1. Negative 4 times 2 times negative 15 is a positive 120. 1 plus 120 is 121, and the square root of 121 is 11. It's a perfect square, so therefore two rational solutions. Now the other type of problem I may ask you for is using the quadratic formula of negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, and now we need to plug in, and when I'm asking for the roots, you've got to get down to an answer. So A is 1, B is 4, C is 14. It's negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 14 over 2 times 1. I'm literally just plugging the A, B, and C in with their signs. Negative 4 plus or minus root 16 minus 56 over 2. Negative 4 plus or minus root negative 40 over 2. We do need to simplify radicals. That root negative 40 simplifies to 2i root 10, which is what we get right here. So you do need to simplify the radical as we did in class. And then this 2 goes under both terms. Negative 4 over 2 is negative 2. 2's here cancel, and I'm left with I root 10. Up here, my A is 2, my B is negative 4, my C is negative 10. So it's negative negative 4. We put the B in as a negative, and that double negative is going to turn to a positive 4. Negative 4 squared minus 4 times 2 times a negative 10. That over here is a double negative. So 16 now becomes 16 plus 80 all over 4. 4 plus or minus root 96. Root 96 simplifies to 4 root 6. You have to go through the simplification. 4 plus or minus 4 root 6 over 4, and then 4 under both terms. 4 over 4 is 1. 4 root 6 over 4 is root 6. My answer is 1 plus or minus root 6. When you get a perfect square under the radical, we do need to get two rational solutions. I want to know what those solutions are. In this case, my A is 6, my B is negative 7, my C is negative 3. Negative is negative 7 becomes positive 7. Under the radical is negative 7 squared minus 4 times 6 times negative 3. That double negative becomes positive. 4 times 6 times 3 is 72, and then on the bottom 2 times A, which is 2 times 6, so the bottom is 12. 7 plus or minus root 121 over 12 becomes 7 plus or minus 11 over 12. 7 plus 11 is 18 over 12. 7 minus 11 is negative 4 over 12, and we reduce both fractions, 3 halves and negative 1/3. Here's an example of a double root. We have a is 1, b is 14, c is 49. Negative 14 plus or minus the square root of 14 squared minus 4 times 1 times 49. That is a 49 there. Sorry if it's a little blurry. Over 2 times 1. Negative 14 plus or minus, it's the square root of 196 minus 196 all over 2. The square root of 0 is 0. So it's literally just negative 14 over 2. This is the one time we get one answer. B is plus 0 and minus 0 does not change the number. So negative 14 over 2 is a negative 7. This should be a negative 7. I'm going to have to change that. I know I have it circled as a positive. It should be a negative. Number 9, a is 2, b is 6, c is negative 18. We have negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 6 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 18 over 2 times 2. Negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 plus 144. The double negative makes it positive, so we end up with a root 180 here. Root 180 simplifies to 6 root 5. So now negative 6 over 4 is negative 3 halves. 6 over 4 is 3 halves, and it's 3 root 5 over 2. So there's our answer, negative 3 halves plus or minus 3 root 5 over 2. And our last problem, a is 3, b is 2, c is 10. With negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 3 times 10. 4 minus 120 becomes negative 116, so negative 2 plus or minus root negative 116 over 6. When I simplify root negative 116, it's 4i root 29. So negative 2 plus or minus 4i root 29 over 6. Negative 2 over 6 is negative 1/3. 4 over 6 is 2/3, so plus or minus 2i root 29 over 3. And there's your review.